pedal, kind of play. Maybe the same person who does that also gets some assets to play with and goes out and buys 80 stocks they have some belief in for some reason. So it's kind of the modern Woodman model.
Are all those assets, would those assets be just a surplus of like their insurance-backed
Yes.
assets?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, right. Because, they're like, all right, well, we need to be in equities. They're like, let's hire someone to be in equities and predominantly spend 80% of your risk budget in beta, and then around the edges see if you can beat the S&P 5 by adding certain names.
So on that, so you say 80% of their equity risk budget is beta, index stuff, ETFs, or probably. And do they have, a little surprised how you described it, they actually will go ahead and have teams actually pick stocks or run portfolios on that?
Yeah.
That can be?
Maybe.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a team, it'd be like a person. Right? They'll have a fixed income team of 100, and then they'll have 2 people doing equities. Sometimes the insurer's balance sheet is where the CEO will express his very strong views in the equity marketplace. CEOs are masters of the universe, and so they have views, and here's a pot of assets, and I'm going to take some of this aside and bet on my 50 favorite energy names. Sometimes, while the CIO is going to say, I want beta management, not your fund money.
Do the investment teams manage? So we're talking about their balance sheet.
Correct.
Essentially. But
yeah.
Do they manage like their other pools? They have a VC plan, DP plan, DEPO, whatever.
They will be called upon to often, it's a broad generalization, often they'll be called upon to opine on strategies and managers, but it's often elsewhere.
Right. Another question. So about insurance company, I read there's the general account.
Yeah.
We're talking about the general account now, and then I've heard talking about a separate account.
Yes.
Off the general account.
Rollovers.
It is. We've been talking about the general account. Okay.
And 2 different teams do that.
Okay. Can you take a detour quick about the separate account and what's that?
So the general account's the balance sheet. The general account is the assets that are to support the liabilities that they underwrite when they write insurance policies. Okay, so when you pay your premium, it goes in the general account. And they mix all your premiums together to pay all the claims and losses that come out, right? So that's the insurance part of an insurance company. The separate account is off to the side. Is insurers will often also try to sell you investment products. So when the Northwestern Mutual Life guy calls you, he wants to sell you whole life. If you buy whole life from him, that goes in the general account. He's also going to try to sell you annuities, mutual funds, whatever. Those are all separate because those exist inside their own products. So there's all the mutual fund products are separate accounts. All the annuity products are separate accounts. An annuity product, a variable annuity, is nothing more than an investment vehicle that has an insurance wrapper as opposed to a mutual fund wrapper. So fixed annuity you get, that's where someone promises to pay you something for. Right? The variable annuity is really just an investment vehicle that has an insurance wrapper instead of a 1948 mutual fund. In that space, they oftentimes will sub-advise external managers because they're like, we've got this huge fixed income team that runs the balance sheet. We know nothing about all of this.
That's where our sub-advised team might call in a Nationwide or others who have a huge VA lineup.
So I've known Tim Stegner for 15 years, and he is best in that space.
So that's off to the side.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
The separate account. So you're saying the general account, balance sheet assets, those are the ones going to be managed by the 2 equity guys doing whatever, and then the separate account ones that are generally out there. That's the sub-advised opportunity. Who's making the decision? Is it the same investment team now?
Totally
Different again?
Totally different.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. One is investment people managing the balance sheet. The others are more like product people trying to sell products, like build and sell products. So they know investments. But the real investment people work on the balance sheet. Kind of more product-y people work on the sub-advised side. But you asked about equity and case studies. So right now, the insurance industry, I think, where we're having success, and I'd love to, bring this with a stamp in a couple weeks. But I would put out Grange Mutual, or now I guess they're Grange, they demutualized. Grange in Columbus, Ohio. Is currently $150 million in a Russell 1000 index TAE with State Street. So that's classic insurance approach. They get their beta, but they put a TAE on top of it so they can be tax aware and all of that. And we've made the argument that now is the time for active. There was a time for beta. Last 10 years, beta was great. The beta trade was awesome. When equity markets are returning double digits for 5 and 10 years, your best strategy is have beta, hold on, and go for the ride, right? Don't do anything. Don't step up. Like any active management, you're going to step off. Every active manager has underperformed in the last 5 years because the market looks like that.
So there's time for active arguing. I've heard you say it a few times. So
now the market's going to look like this.
Just the lower return expectations.
Well, it's going to look like this, right? And so in a volatile marketplace, where it's not all beta-driven, but volatility-driven, an active manager can add value, can add significant value, right? So that's kind of where the conversation starts. So it's been a great trade. Can't be the answer forever, right? And there's a time it works and a time it doesn't, and now we're in the clutch to the time that active management should play a role. And Hunt's got great slides on this where he shows factors, but I would say we could rejigger that, or at least use that to say active.
I was going to say, you aren't necessarily calling out that factor piece.
Not yet.
Just saying active equity.
I mean, right? That's what I'm saying. Active managers have a real hard time, right? And now I think they'll have an easier time of beating benchmarks, or at least less explaining to do.
So are they aware of this issue? Are they unhappy? I'm just trying to get to that. Like, is it even a pain point today? Is it a chronic pain point, or is it they're unaware and we're helping them?
So if they've had active managers, it's definitely a pain point, and that's a great conversation. If they haven't had active managers, if they've just been beta, then the conversation now is the time. So we'll see that. Now we start with active first. As soon as you start going quant active factor, this is not like, nope, not interested, nope. But if they believe in active management, or you can get them there, and then you can talk about, and they're going to want to be predominant for their balance sheet. They're going to want to be predominantly large cap.
Okay.
Right. Maybe some small cap, and then their international starts to get scary. And again, part of that is just uber ultra conservative investment committees, but also part of it is their liabilities are dollar denominated. So why would I introduce a mismatch? Yeah, why would I introduce that?
So it sounds like that is. So let's go back to. Okay, so we have life insurance. I'm sorry, property and casualty, main target. 80%, 90% fixed investment grade fixed income to kind of quasi match their events, right? Their payout events. They've got a let's say a 10% equity bucket, of which 80% of that is usually beta.
Yeah.
So
80 plus.
So that's the big chunk of money.
Or they have real active management views, and then it's multi-manager. They'll have 3 or 4 active managers.
So you run into all over the board. They're going to have they're going to probably have a little bit of everything or a lot of whatever, but they're going to have it all probably in their portfolio, all parts. They're going to probably have active and beta, probably. Just because, do any of them have or understand factors? Have anyone kind of gone out and said we've been, because a lot of times talking to Mike, he gets brought into situations where there's disappointment, right? The first generation of smart beta, and there's more receptivity to kind of either not, what's the problem, right? Not what I expected, I didn't even understand it. Next, do you get any of that, or it's pretty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
and that's why I don't lead with factors. You say that, and everyone's like, "Oh, if we tried smart beta, it sucks." Like, we're out. It doesn't fulfill its promise.
So how's your active?
This is our flagship active large cap strategy. Full stop. Right? 200 basis, 5 years now, 5-year birthday this month, 200 basis points annually. One active large cap. No, by the way, I think most will say, oh, you can't, large cap is so hard to beat. Large cap, right? Small cap, maybe you have insight, this and that. Large cap, largely arbitrage away, efficient markets. No one can beat the Russell 1. We did 5 years in a row, 200 basis points. No one can say that. Not a market that looks like that, but yeah, we did.
And at this point, because what you're telling me is, because I know, right, it's the QLD strategy.
Yes.
So you haven't talked about factors. You've talked about active management, right, and how markets have changed, and the opportunity to outperform an active management is in front of us, right? So we've got an active large cap strategy that has outperformed consistently over the last 2 years, up and down markets. Big growth, right?
Correct. And in 17, which was that year, market was 21-ish. We were 18. So we'll run around and talk about 300 basis points of underperformance. Like, stop. That sounds really, really bad. We delivered 18 in a 21 year. I've never been fired for delivering 18 in a year on anything. 50 South wouldn't get fired for delivering 18, right? We delivered 18 in a 21 year. Last year, entire market was down almost 5%, and we were up 1.5. Large cap, Russell 1. That's huge, right? And that's what insurers love that, right? Like, okay, so you brought me 18, and the next year when everyone was down 5, I was up 1.5. Like, talk about no explaining.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, totally get it.
Okay, so you've got me interested, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So how do we do it?
yeah.
All right, well now, right, so now how we do it is, you know, talk about markets and innovation, right? It's a data-driven world. We use data to make decisions, right? Don't you want us doing that? Right? We build portfolios. We use data to help us build portfolios that weather this volatility and deliver on it. Right? And how we do it is we build portfolios that capture that asymmetry, 92 up, 72 down, or 75, or I forget what Frank's latest stats are.
92.70 is good.
Yes, but it's that. So in other words,